tracking my face? It is. Look, camera's tracking my face. It should be anyway. If I move with it. There it is. Can it track me sitting down though? Well, that is crazy technology. Look at that. Anyway guys, let's start the video. Basically, for those of you who don't know, what happened is I was kickboxing. I got kicked on this side. I thought I had I thought I was winded, and then when that didn't go away, I thought, okay, that's a bit strange. Maybe I fractured a rib or something, and the pain just gradually got worse. When I went home, I started feeling sick. I ended up throwing up, and then the pain spread, kind of went everywhere, into my abdomen, groin, kind of up a bit as well. That's when I really started freaking out, and got an Uber, and then had to go to A&E, and yeah, they just put me on a load of morphine, and I mean, I was making a bit of a scene in the reception. When they eventually scanned me, they realised basically my kidney had burst and I had urine and blood everywhere inside me, and they were like, oh God, this guy is like not good. We need to sort him out now. So I got put to the kind of top of the priority, and yeah, that's kind of what happened. They put a tube in me, put me on loads of drugs, and I was in hospital for about 5 nights. So yeah, on a ward, and then put on a drip and loads of tests, but not fun stuff. But we're still here, still breathing, back in the gym. It's been nearly a year that I've had my nephrostomy bag. Mine got put in on the 4th of January, and we are coming up to being midway through December, so about just over 11 months. And yeah, just wanted to make a video about nephrostomy bags, my experience, as there's not too much videos online about them. And when I had mine put in, I was looking for this type of stuff, and I didn't really find much videos, so I wanted to make my own. So firstly, if you are having a nephrostomy or you've just had one in, don't worry, they're not as scary as you think. They can be inconvenient, we'll get into that, but you can live you can live your life relatively normally with a nephrostomy. There's a few things you can't do, but all in all, they're not as bad as you think. I remember when I had mine put in, I was just thinking of all the things I couldn't do, but you really want to be focusing on what you can do, because you can do a lot of things still. You're not that disabled. It does feel like you're very disabled when you first have it put in, but you're not as disabled as you think. So first things first, from what I've seen, there's 2 types of nephrostomies. The first one, which is the one I had originally, is, so they're all of them are a tube coming out of your kidney. So there's a hole that's made in your skin. They put a wire through the hole into your kidney, into the collecting system in your kidney. Then they put a tube through, they take the wire out, and then you have this flexible tube coming from the inside of your kidney all the way out of your body into a collecting system, right? So you've got this foreign body going into your kidney, which, you know, it's a bit more prone to infection than a colostomy bag, because a colostomy is not actually a foreign body. They've taken a part of your intestine and connected it outside of your body so that it can dispense your poo. Anyway, we're not going to go into colostomies, but yeah, that's what a nephrostomy is. It's a tube going into your kidney from the outside. So the tube will literally stick out of the side of your body, kind of on your side / on your back. I'll show you a picture now of what mine looks like. So yeah, so when you get the nephrostomy, you'll have 2 types. You'll have the one where the tube comes out and goes straight into a bag like this. This is the one that I had and that I currently have. I've had this for about nearly a year. And these bags, there's different variations of this, but it's this basically just the tube going into the bag and the urine collects in the bag, and it has some sort of tap at the bottom where you can dispense it when it's full. So these bags are good. I think these bags are actually better for everyday life. The other type of bag, which I'm just going to show you a photo of now, is the bag that I had put on when I had the nephrostomy tube exchanged for the third time. This bag is a bit more awkward because the tube is out. The tube doesn't go into a bag straight away. The tube is out and it's screwed into another tube which goes into a bag further down, which kind of swings around, and you're meant to clip it to your leg with a strap or to your hip. I'm not really sure how you're meant to live with this bag. It seems really awkward. But I had this bag placed for 3 days after I had the tube changed. We'll talk about the tube change in a minute. But after 3 days, I decided everyday life was just a bit awkward with that other bag, so I just put this one back on. Anyway, with these bags, there's probably tutorials and the nurses will show you, but you basically just cut a hole depending on how big you need the hole. Sometimes with these nephrostomies, your skin will react by taking the tissue under your skin and kind of making it come up like a mushroom to try and protect the hole, and this is called granulation tissue. This is what happened to me. It can be quite gross and weird, and you kind of get worried about it, but it's nothing to worry about. It's just your body trying to seal the hole. But what it is, it's the kind of under layers of your skin, the kind of tissue, coming up and trying to form a barrier. It kind of looks like a red blob of blood. I know it's a bit gross, but that's the best way to describe it. And my one started off quite small, like a pea, and it did grow. It got to about this big, but it was actually cut down surgically when I had the tube exchanged. So, talking about the tube exchange, your doctors or hospital should book you in to have your tube changed every 3 months. Some places might do it more regularly. For me, it was every 3 months. So you're supposed to have the tube that goes into your kidney essentially pulled out, not ripped out, but taken out, and a new one put in to reduce the risk of infection. Ideally, this is done and pre-booked, and you don't have to do anything about it, and the hospital just send you a letter saying it's time for your tube change. That's not always as smooth. For me, I sometimes didn't receive a letter. I had to chase it. Sometimes I wouldn't have it done for over 3 months. It's not as, I don't know, maybe it's just the way the NHS is. It's not as straightforward as just being sent a letter and boom, you have your tube change. I've had to chase it a few times. And you do need the tube changed regularly because I've had this now for nearly a year. And recently, I say a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, I was in hospital for about 10 days in total because the tube got blocked, which can happen. It is a potential thing that can happen. And if your tube gets blocked, it just means the urine from your kidney is not coming out of the tube, which means it's sitting in your kidney, probably causing your kidney to expand, or if you already have damage, it might be leaking out the kidney. Not good, means you're going to get an infection most likely. So what you do, you just go to A&E, you get the tube flushed, unblocked, and they'll put you on antibiotics. The problem for me was by the time that I had the antibiotics and the tube was unblocked, the infection had spread and the regular antibiotics they give you did nothing. So I had to be treated for sepsis. They don't really know if I had sepsis or not because the results where they test for it weren't clear, but I had all the symptoms and regular antibiotics were doing nothing. So they had to give me special sepsis antibiotics to get rid of this infection. I spent quite a few days in hospital. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I just had a bad fever, felt a bit sick, but it wasn't really painful or anything. It was just inconvenient. But yeah, that is something that can happen, not to scare you, but that did happen to me. So another thing with nephrostomies, can you exercise? The doctor will say to you probably to avoid exercise, obviously, for the first week or two when you've had the nephrostomy. For me, they said I can do light exercise, but just avoid anything that might pull the tube out, obviously. For me, I found running is pretty much impossible because it causes the tube to bounce and any liquid you have in the bag is going to slosh around, and it's not great. You don't want to be doing that. Jumping as well is not ideal. So for me, I found weightlifting is okay. I haven't tried to push the weight too heavy because anything where you're working out your core or you're lifting heavy and your core's tensed, it just puts more pressure on your abdomen and your kidney area, and the likelihood of the tube coming out is way higher. So weightlifting is doable in my experience as long as you're not going crazy with the weight and you're not doing any exercises that might put pressure or catch the tube. So maybe avoid doing any ab exercises or heavy weight exercises like benching or barbell rowing or deadlifting with heavy weight. You can do it with lightweight. I don't see a problem with that. This is not medical advice, by the way. I'm just saying what I did. So another thing with the nephrostomy is you can't go in water, really. You can shower, but it's a bit awkward. You will probably be showering on one side. So you'll have to get all of the water to kind of come on your chest or on your arm, and you'll have to kind of avoid getting any water near where the nephrostomy is. This can be a bit awkward, but you still can shower pretty normally, because you're going to be changing the bag every 2 to 4 days anyway. So whether the bag gets a bit wet around the edges and starts coming off, by the time it's coming off properly, you're probably going to change the bag anyway. So it doesn't matter in my case. What I would say is you can't submerge the bag, so you can't go in any swimming pools, jacuzzis, baths, anything like that, which kind of sucks. There's been a few times where I've wanted to go swimming or go in a jacuzzi and you just can't. So that's a bit annoying. Also, some sports or activities you can't do. For example, go-karting. You ain't doing go-karting with a nephrostomy bag. That will rip it out. Basketball, you can't really do. Football, maybe. But again, you're going to be running, so it's going to cause a bit of discomfort. It's not going to be really doable. So yeah, there's quite a few things you are limited on. But you're not that limited. You can still walk around. You shouldn't be in pain. The nephrostomy might hurt for a few weeks when you've had it done. Mine was quite uncomfortable for about 6 weeks. But after that, you get used to it. You don't really feel it in terms of pain. You might have a discomfort or just an annoying feeling in that area, but you just get used to it, as you do with anything. But yeah, I mean, that's my experience living with it. I've probably missed out loads of stuff in this video. If you have any questions for me, put it in the comments and I will respond to you, or I might make a part 2 to this video. But I just wanted to make a kind of quick video about nephrostomies, my experience with them. And oh yeah, quickly before I go, when you get your nephrostomy, sometimes they will give you this, sometimes they won't, and you need to ask for it or buy it online if you're really unlucky. You can get an extension to plug into it. So I'll just show you. It's called a night bag. Basically, the nephrostomy bag is not that big, so if you drank a lot of liquids and you're going to bed, this will fill up and you'll feel the liquid inside this if it's really full, because it will come up near where your tube is and you'll feel it on your skin. It's not nice, not a nice feeling, and it does cause the bag to actually come off prematurely, so you don't really want to be having that happen. So what I'd recommend is if you can get your hands on a night bag, which is, it's just a urine drainage bag that it attaches to your nephrostomy. So there's different variations, but you have your normal bag, you have the tap. The night bags usually come with some sort of connection so that you can connect this to the night bag. Sometimes they plug straight into the bag. These ones, the tap is actually smaller than the standard hospital one, so I needed a special extender thing to like plug into this so I could connect the night bag. But this night bag is 2 litres, so when you go to sleep you don't have to worry about the urine collecting in the bag. It'll go straight to this and you can just have a good night's sleep and not have to go and empty this in the middle of the night. That's one of the things that's really annoying with a nephrostomy, is getting a good night's sleep can be quite hard, because this will fill up and wake you up in the night, and really you have to go and drain it. So you might have to get up 2 or 3 times in the night to empty this. Whereas if you have a night bag, you can theoretically just sleep the whole night, and then you'll have a nice bag of piss to empty in the morning, but you will have slept better, so it's worth it. But yeah, that's something you can find online. The hospital did supply me with one, but they don't give you a pack. At least in my case, they didn't give me a pack to take away. I had to buy these online. They weren't too expensive. I think it was about £19 for a pack of 20, and you can reuse them. They last, if you wash them through with water, I tend to use them for a week. Yeah, it depends. I mean, you can kind of tell when they're getting a bit manky because they start to smell. As soon as I start to think they smell, after I've run water through them, I'll just throw them away and I'll use a new one. Look, it's not medical advice. I might be risking myself an infection doing this, but I've been living like this for nearly a year and it's been fine. And the only infection I got was when it got blocked. But yeah, that's all I have to say on nephrostomies for now. Right, a little update on the kidney situation. Last time I kind of talked about it in a video. I was still living with the nephrostomy bag. Nephrostomy bag is like a tube that goes in through your back into your kidney, and it drains basically pee into a bag, kind of like a stoma bag, but for urine instead of poo. So I had that last time. I'm just going to kind of carry on from what's happened. So I finally had the surgery. The reason I had the nephrostomy bag was because the kidney was basically not working. It wasn't draining urine to my bladder. So without this nephrostomy bag, it's quite windy out here. Without the nephrostomy bag, my kidney would have just swelled up, and yeah, would have caused me a lot of problems. On top of that, I had the injury, so the kidney actually had a laceration in it, quite a serious one. Actually lacerated into the collecting system inside the kidney, so even without the tube it would have just leaked urine inside my body anyway. So I needed the tube. I had this tube for 13 months, and then I had the kidney removal surgery in February. So it's towards the end of February that we got it booked in. It was pretty quick, to be honest. The total time for the surgery was about 3 hours. I was put to sleep about half an hour before, and then I was kind of out of it for about an hour afterwards. My memory of the day is pretty bad because I was on general anaesthetic, so I don't really remember much after I woke up. The whole evening is kind of a blur. But yeah, according to the surgeons, it went pretty smooth. It was using a robot, so it was a robotic surgery. They did it via keyhole, so I've got 5 incisions. So I've got a hole where the bag was. I'll show you actually. Let's just put it up like this. So I've got a hole here where the tube was. I don't know if you can see. Put the camera like this, probably easier. So I've got a hole there where the bag went in, where the tube went in on my back, and then from the actual surgery I've got about 3 incisions going down like that on my left side of my stomach. I've got one where my belly button is, literally just another hole. And then I've got a kind of a big one, big slice just where my kind of belt line is on my trousers, where they actually remove the kidney. I'm not going to show you that one because it's quite low down, but some of the stomach ones you can see here, they're healing better now. They look pretty grim for a while. So yeah, it's all done. I'm off all the medication. I was only on painkillers for about 5 days. You're supposed to be on them for longer, but I felt fine, so I just went off them. Breathing was tough for about a week. You get kind of pain in your diaphragm after your kidney's removed, because to do the surgery they inject you with this CO2 gas, I think it's CO2, and it swells your stomach up and makes a kind of area for them to do the surgery. And this gas lingers inside your body for about a week after the surgery, and it really irritates your diaphragm, so you get really bad pain when you're breathing in and out, and that was quite uncomfortable. I had that for about a week, and I had this kind of feeling, the best way I can describe it was like all of my insides were just being held together with sellotape, and they were just dangling around, and it felt like they could just collapse and everything would just go. Had that feeling for about 2 weeks, and yeah, the more I was walking every day, the less that feeling I could feel that. And by like the 3rd week, so we're on 5 weeks since the surgery now, by about the 3rd week, midway through, I would say that feeling completely went away. And the only kind of lingering thing I have left is sometimes I get a bit low on energy. I was having a bit of a feeling of being breathless for quite a while, but that's kind of gone away now. And yeah, we're actually going back to being normal again. The only medication that I had to take for a bit longer was anticoagulant, which is just blood thinners, because when you have a surgery, particularly like a major surgery, you have quite a high chance of getting a blood clot, so they put you on blood thinners. So I had to take blood thinners for 4 weeks. It was these injections that you just stab into your leg every day. So now this is going to fall over. I should probably hold it. So yeah, I was taking those, I was injecting those for 4 weeks. Not very fun. I don't like injecting myself. I don't think anyone does, but it had to be done, and that is now all finished. I'm off everything. No more tablets, no more injections, nothing. Only thing left really is every 6 months to a year they recommend that you do a blood test to test the kidney function of the remaining kidney. And that's it. But essentially, I'm back to normal after over a year of being handicapped, essentially. I haven't run on a treadmill or on foot for a long time. I haven't gone swimming or submerged myself in water for a very long time. And yeah, I just haven't been able to do certain activities or even just sleep on my side. I slept on my side for the first time a week ago, and that was weird. I've been sleeping like Dracula for like 14 months, just sleeping like this, because I can't roll on my sides. But now there's wounds have healed enough that I can move around more comfortably and lie on my side, so that's good. If anyone watching this is having their kidney removed, or they're booked in for a nephrectomy, and nephrectomy is the name for a kidney removal surgery, it's not as bad as you think it's going to be. I read a few like Reddit posts and watched some videos, and people were making it out to be kind of like this horrible thing, or that it's quite painful and the recoveries are long. I can only speak in my experience. I'm 25, nearly 26, and I'm quite active, so I think I recovered quite quickly. But honestly, it wasn't bad at all. I was surprised at how okay it was, considering how major a surgery it actually is. You know, you're having your kidney taken out of your body, they're cutting through arteries and all sorts, but yeah, the way they do it is so advanced now, and the recovery time for this type of surgery is not actually that bad. So I don't really have too much to say on it. I'm just grateful that it's done and that I can just resume normal life. In terms of losing weight, you probably will lose weight. I lost about 5 kilograms, about that. I was about 82 kilos, give or take, when I went into the hospital, and I weighed myself when I was in there. I dropped to about 76 and a half. So yeah, I lost quite a lot of weight because of just recovering basically. I had put on weight from the gym beforehand, so obviously I lost muscle mass as well, and I still am losing it whilst I'm not training. They recommend that you don't do any weightlifting for 3 months after the surgery, so I'm kind of just doing walking at the moment. I'm going to start doing some light jogging and swimming in the next week or two, but yeah, so that's one thing to consider. You're going to lose a lot of weight if you're into like exercise and stuff, or you will drop weight, but you can get the muscle back, you can get the weight back, it's not really a problem. So yeah, currently weighing 78.5 kilos, so I put on a bit of weight, but I'm still very much skinny compared to what I used to be. I'm planning to end the year at least at 85 again. I'm just going to start smashing the gym when I can. I have no excuse now. For the whole of last year I was kind of handicapped in a sense. I could only lift a moderate weight, so I couldn't try and make strength gains last year. I could only maintain what was comfortable, and I tried not to push it because I didn't want to put any pressure on my core. So I couldn't train abs, and I couldn't do any kind of like PRs in terms of lifting, so I'm looking forward to doing that as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's all done now, so gotta be grateful. Different kind of video this one, not talking about trading obviously, just talking about what's happened in my life. Channel, I want to do more videos like this and just lifestyle and what I get up to day to day, because I like filming it, and I think you guys like watching it. From the polls I've done, people like watching just what you're doing with your day. Showing you stuff on the screen can get a bit boring, so yeah. But yeah, we're going into summer now, life's looking better, literally cannot complain. So as I said, any of you guys that are watching this and you have got anything similar surgery wise coming up, don't stress it, it's probably not going to be bad, and if it is bad, you're in good hands in the hospital anyway. They can deal with it, so you'll be fine. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little explanation of what happened. Obviously if anything changes I will let you know, but hopefully nothing happens. Hopefully my kidney is fine and I don't have any problems with the wounds, and yeah, then we'll be all good. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next video.